Understandable English Podcast.
Learn English the easy way.
Jessica, I have a serious confession to make about my weekend trip to the mountains. And honestly, I am still recovering from the pure emotional drama of it all.
Oh no, Brian. Did you get lost on a hiking trail again, or did you just forget to pack food like you usually do?
I wish it was that simple. I booked a beautiful, isolated cabin in the woods because I decided I needed a total break from technology, work emails, and constant screen time.
That actually sounds wonderful and super peaceful. So why do you look like you haven't slept in 3 days?
Because as soon as I unpacked my bag, I looked at my phone and realized there was zero cell phone reception, and I instantly entered a complete state of panic.
Wait, wasn't zero signal the entire goal of renting a cabin in the middle of nature?
In theory, yes. But in reality, I spent the first 4 hours of my peaceful vacation walking around the backyard holding my phone high up toward the sky, desperately trying to find just one single bar of 5G.
You spent 4 hours in a beautiful forest waving your arm in the air like a crazy person instead of relaxing?
Yes. I was walking in circles near a pine tree because I convinced myself that if I stood on my tiptoes on top of a rock, I might get a single text message.
That is so absurd. But welcome back to the Understandable English Podcast, everyone, where Brian turns a relaxing forest getaway into an intense search for internet access.
Welcome back to the show, everyone. Whether you are listening while commuting to work, cooking dinner, folding laundry, or taking a peaceful walk, we are so glad you are hanging out with us today.
If you have ever felt that sudden spike of anxiety when your phone battery hits 5% or when your Wi-Fi disappears, go ahead and leave a like on this episode right now so Brian knows he is not the only phone addict here.
Please leave a like because I felt so embarrassed after hour 3. My arms were tired, my feet were cold, and I suddenly realized I had completely forgotten how to just look at trees without taking a photo or checking my notifications.
It is funny how modern life conditions us. We say we want to escape and rest, but the moment we actually get quiet surroundings, our brains start screaming because we are not receiving constant stimulation.
Exactly. Every time a leaf rustled or a bird chirped, my hand automatically reached into my pocket. I was literally experiencing phantom emails. I kept feeling my phone vibrate against my leg, even when it was sitting on the wooden table inside the cabin.
Phantom vibrations are real. Your brain is so accustomed to constant alerts that it literally creates fake sensations just to get you to check your device.
It was wild. Every time I tried to sit on the porch and enjoy the mountain air, my brain kept telling me that someone somewhere was sending me a super urgent email that I needed to answer immediately.
See, your idea of a vacation sounds like absolute torture to me. When I want to truly escape and recharge my energy, I do something completely different. I am a huge fan of what I call a nothing trip.
A nothing trip? What on earth is a nothing trip? Is that where you go somewhere and literally do zero activities?
That is precisely what it is. Last summer, I booked a quiet hotel room 2 hours away. I brought 3 books, ordered room service, and did not leave that hotel room for 3 entire days, except to walk downstairs and get a fresh cup of coffee in the morning.
You stayed inside a hotel room for 3 whole days? Didn't you feel guilty about not exploring the city or seeing the historic sites?
Not even for a single second. That is the entire magic of a nothing trip. When you stay in your normal apartment, you constantly feel like you should be cleaning the kitchen or answering work messages. But in a neutral hotel room, those obligations disappear.
That is brilliant, actually. Whenever I stay at home to relax, I always run into a problem because my eyes wander over to my dirty dishes or my stack of unpaid bills, and suddenly my relaxing afternoon turns into 3 hours of house chores.
Precisely. When you remove all the ordinary household triggers and turn off your notifications, your nervous system finally gets permission to slow down and rest without feeling guilty.
I definitely had trouble with that at the cabin. On the second day, after I gave up on finding a cell signal, I sat on the couch and tried to read a book. But my body was so restless that I stood up and cleaned the cabin stove for 45 minutes just to keep my hands busy.
You cleaned someone else's vacation stove? Brian, that is hilarious. You are so addicted to being busy that you converted your mountain vacation into unpaid housekeeping service.
I know, it was ridiculous. I literally did not know what to do with my hands when I was not holding a screen or typing on a keyboard. It made me realize how dependent I have become on constant digital noise.
It happens to almost everyone who works online or lives in a big city. A few years ago, I had a similar moment when I went camping with some old college friends near a lake with zero cell service.
Oh, did you spend 4 hours holding your phone up to the sky too? Or were you more civilized than me?
I didn't hold my phone up, but for the first 24 hours, I kept reaching into my backpack every 10 minutes to check for messages. It took me a full day to get used to the quiet atmosphere and stop expecting an alert.
How did you finally break that anxious habit? Did you hide your phone inside a lockbox or bury it under your sleeping bag?
I actually turned the phone completely off and locked it in the glove compartment of my car. Once I physically could not see or reach the device, my mind relaxed, and I finally started enjoying the sound of the wind in the trees and the campfire.
That is such smart advice. I need to keep in mind that putting physical distance between myself and my phone is the only way I can truly disconnect.
It really makes a huge difference. You have to create actual physical boundaries, because relying on willpower alone when your phone is right in your pocket rarely works.
That reminds me of another funny story from last year when I attempted a digital detox weekend at my own apartment. I promised myself I would not touch my phone or computer from Saturday morning to Sunday evening.
Let me guess. You lasted about 2 hours before you found an excuse to turn your computer back on?
I lasted until Saturday afternoon, but because I could not check social media or watch videos, I got so bored that I stared at the digital timer on my microwave for 10 minutes, watching the seconds tick by like a crazy person.
You stared at your microwave timer? That sounds like a scene from a strange movie. Why didn't you just go for a walk outside or listen to music?
Because when I went for a walk in the park without my phone, I felt totally lost. I didn't have headphones playing a podcast, I didn't have a map, and I didn't have a camera to snap photos. I was just walking with my arms swinging, feeling completely self-conscious.
We have become so accustomed to consuming information every single minute of the day that simple, quiet moments feel weirdly uncomfortable or awkward.
Yes. It turns out that sitting quietly with your own thoughts without any background noise is actually a skill that you have to practice, just like trying to figure something out when learning a new language.
That is such a profound point, Brian. Learning to tolerate quiet moments without rushing to fill them with digital distractions is essential for our mental health and long-term peace of mind.
It really is. When we constantly flood our brains with news, social media posts, notifications, and endless entertainment, we never give our mind time to process emotions or digest our daily experiences.
And that constant mental noise creates a background level of stress that we don't even notice until we try to sit still. That is why so many people feel anxious when they go on vacation or step away from work.
Exactly. Your body stops moving, but your mind keeps racing at 100 miles per hour because it is still expecting the next wave of information.
If you are listening to this right now while walking, driving, or relaxing, we would love to hear your thoughts in the comment section. What is your favorite way to truly unwind when you feel overwhelmed by technology?
Yes, tell us in the comments. Or if you want to practice your English writing today, write this exact phrase in the comments below. I am learning to enjoy quiet moments. It is a simple, powerful sentence to keep in mind whenever your day feels too chaotic.
Writing that phrase down is a wonderful mental reminder for both your life and your language practice. Now, let us smoothly transition into our vocabulary tour for today's episode.
I love our vocabulary tour. Today we picked 6 supernatural, high-value spoken English expressions that we both used naturally throughout our conversation today.
Our first phrase is to figure something out. This means to understand, solve, or find a clear answer to a problem after thinking about it or investigating.
Here's a practical, everyday example sentence. It took me a few days of reading the manual, but I finally figured out how to program my new coffee machine.
Our second phrase is to run into a problem. This means to unexpectedly experience a difficulty, obstacle, or challenge while you are trying to complete a task.
A realistic example sentence for this one is, we were making great progress on our garden project until we ran into a problem with the water pipe.
The third expression on our list today is to keep in mind. This means to remember or hold a useful piece of information in your memory so you can consider it when making decisions.
An everyday example sentence is, when you are planning your weekend hiking trip, please keep in mind that the park gates close early on Sundays.
Our fourth expression is it turns out that. We use this phrase when revealing an unexpected result, a surprising fact, or something that became clear after a situation unfolded.
Here is a great example sentence. I thought I had lost my favorite house keys forever, but it turns out that they were hiding under my couch cushion the entire time.
The fifth phrase is to have trouble with something. This expression means to experience difficulty, frustration, or struggle while trying to do a specific activity or task.
A relatable example sentence is, many intermediate language learners have trouble with understanding fast conversational English in action movies.
And our sixth expression for today is to get used to something. This means to become familiar, comfortable, or accustomed to a new situation, routine, or environment over time.
Here's an original example sentence. When I first started working from home, it took me a couple of weeks to get used to the quiet atmosphere.
Reviewing these natural phrasal verbs and fixed conversational expressions is such an effective way to boost your spoken English fluency and sound more natural when talking with native speakers.
It really is. Thank you so much to everyone who spent their valuable time listening to us today, whether you were doing housework, commuting, or just taking a nice break from your screen.
Take good care of yourselves, give yourselves permission to slow down today, enjoy a few quiet moments, and we will see you in our next episode. Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye, everyone. Have a peaceful and wonderful week ahead.
Goodbye, everyone. See you in the next episode.
Wait, Jessica. Before we stop recording completely, listen to this crazy story. Yesterday, I tried to figure something out with my kitchen sink, but I ran into a problem with a rusty pipe, so I had to keep in mind my plumber's advice, and it turns out that I used to have trouble with basic home repairs, but once I got used to using my new toolkit, everything was completely fine.
Brian, you managed to squeeze every single vocabulary phrase into one absurd home repair story, and honestly, that was surprisingly impressive.